So today I need to change the paper on my Grizzly drum sander. I'm going to do an end grain cutting board, and I need to take the finishing sandpaper off and put some of this 80 grit down to remove some material. As with all first steps, when you're going to work on a piece of equipment, make sure it's unplugged. After that, my Grizzly only has a single set screw that's holding the cover down. Depending on your model, there might be a couple, or you can take the whole thing off. Now I have an inner cover that has 3 screws. So here you can see another reason why I need to replace this paper. I tried to remove too much material at one time, and that increased the friction here and started burning up. There's another hot spot over here, and it tore a little bit, and then the whole thing shifted over. You can just loosen, and then it's best to put that screw back in there so you don't lose this piece. All right, next up, simply grab and unroll. You might recognize this guy right here. Same thing. We'll loosen up. Now's as good a time as any to wipe off the drum. Some gum cutter would probably work well, taking some of the sawdust off, but honestly, as long as there's no chunks present underneath, it's fine. I don't care to get this super clean. So the first thing I did was lay out the old sandpaper, and I will match the length using this roll. I wanted to shout out to Maverick Adhesives. So these guys manufacture their own rolls of sandpaper, which is why you don't buy them in strips, like small enough to do this one. You buy in rolls. They manufacture them here in America as well, which is huge, and they're a SoCal company. So there's a lot of positives when selecting these guys. And by clicking on the link in the description, you can get up to 10% off of their products. As you can see, one roll here, I think this was like 45 bucks, can do a lot. This will last you a lifetime. So, well worth the investment compared to buying one strip on Amazon for like 20 bucks, I think, or something like that. All right, so the next thing I need to do is cut the angles on each end. And this is much easier to do when you have the old one laying around. So you just line up each side, and you can trace it. I'll do the same thing over here. It's a little bit more difficult because this one's chewed up. All right, when you're putting this back in, you want to try to match what you took out. Same amount, so I'm going about a 1/4 inch, maybe a little less. And try to get that as straight in line with the drum as you can. And then you just want to snug it up. Now you want to feed it in, right in line, nice and tight, right on the edge. And the goal here is to lay it right next to, but not on top of. Once you find that sweet spot, you just let it guide itself on. This definitely doesn't feel good on the fingers. All right, as long as the person in front of you did a good job cutting, which I did not. Can't see down here. But this is the point where I made that weird cut. But the problem is this, I need to cut out here. So what I can do is I can get my Sharpie. That's good. That is my estimation of what needs to get removed. Let's see how that does. All right, looking better, but I'm still covering it up just a little bit. Try it a third time. And that looks snazzy, as my grandmother would say. All right, so now everything's wrapped. We're gonna take an Allen key, stick it in that hole, and turn the drum. And what it's going to do is give you slack in the sandpaper. You want to take that and tuck it underneath this spot here. And then tighten it down. All right, so now all your sandpaper has tension all the way through the roll. I'll just close it up. And now we're ready to take this end grain cutting board for a ride.